Okay, we're live.
Oh snap! What's up?
So I am joined today by gaming personality, host, commentator, and Exo Academy founder,
Oh
Persia.
snap! What's
Yes,
up?
yes.
Yes, nailed it.
So thank you so much for joining me, Persia. We've known each other for a really long time.
Yes, we
So
have.
and it's super cool to follow your career, I have to say.
Exactly, because
So
we met at a time where it was way before, like anything really started taking off.
well, but you were still a personality. I mean, you were
Yeah,
still
but
Persia.
before things were really, becoming real, I guess I
Yeah.
could say.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I've definitely seen you grow, which is awesome. And you've grown so authentically, which is why I really wanted to talk with you today.
Y'all.
Yeah, because you're definitely hashtag another way. So, do you want to give like a brief introduction of yourself? Anything I missed?
I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I've been playing video games pretty much my whole life. My parents kind of helped me get into it, and then,
Nice.
I got really competitive in my teens with Halo 2. That got me interested in tournaments and competing, which then evolved into, going to these events. And as time went on, these events got bigger, and I ended up finding opportunities not on the competitive side, but more on the commentary side and the production side of things. And I guess I kind of always had an interest in it. I just never knew it would happen through games. So
Yeah.
as everything started getting bigger, things fell into place and I started commentating. Then I started hosting, which was something I wasn't sure I would ever have opportunities to do. But once I did get the opportunity to do it, I realized I was really, really good at it. So I've been having a lot of fun hosting a lot of things. And now I have my dream job at GameSpot where I make and produce videos and I work on sponsored content. And it's actually been a dream come true. It's like the best job I've ever had. And I just hit my 1 year mark there actually, which
Nice.
seems like it flew by, but I'm
Totally.
just loving it completely. So it's pretty
Cool.
great.
Okay.
And,
And we're
all
definitely
of that started small. So it's
yeah,
cool.
word. And I want to talk more about that, but since you were kind of there, I also want to talk about how your entree into the gaming industry, specifically as a woman, because and even as a woman commentator, because in other industries like sports, for instance, and I feel like the gaming industry kind of runs parallel to sports a little bit, especially when it comes to commentary.
Mhm.
There's just not a lot of women commentators, and so I feel like you are this kind of leader in that department and representative and a role model and all of that, and it's just because you're super passionate about games. Did you on in your journey did it ever occur to you that you were kind of paving unknown territory?
No, like that was never something that I thought was going to happen, right?
Right.
It just ended up happening as I started doing things. And then I guess when I was starting to do it, I didn't realize it would have any impact at all. I was just doing it because I loved the games and I had a lot of fun and, you know, people took notice that I could also speak well on the mic, about that passion and about these games. And I did know some in-depth things about these games that, helped me elevate my commentary. So I felt like I just got lucky. Everything happened at the right place, at the right time in that instance. But when I started getting bigger gigs and I commentated at Evolution, which is like the biggest fighting game tournament in the entire world, and I was the first official female commentator for that event.
Yeah.
After that happened, a lot of women were like, wow, this has helped motivate me and it made me want to do this. And if you look, just in the past year alone, we have a ton of really, really good and awesome and diverse women who are commentating now and women
Cool.
who have like been commentating for years and now they're starting to get that recognition. And I think that just comes with the fact that it may not have been something that was very popular in the beginning or something that there was a lot of us in the beginning. But once they started seeing us and I guess getting used to us, then they started becoming,
Mhm.
more welcoming to more women commentating. So we have a lot of commentators now, which is amazing because it shows that diversity. And I'm speaking within the FGC, but there are other leagues that are having more women on the production side of things for analyst desks and commentaries, even from the FPS side to, you know, Dota and other games like that too. So it's actually really cool to see that it's becoming much more inclusive and that people are looking for women to be a part of their talent rosters. And I do see companies really going for that too. They do want more women a part of their, production crews and stuff like that. So it's both on the community and on, these events. It's all an equal one, and I think that's helped kind of spark the growth and everyone's drive and ambition to do this, which I think is amazing because
Yeah.
for me this year, I've had to take a step back from commentary because I'm really focusing on my job and I want to do well. And I feel like I have been doing well and it's like the best feeling in the world. And I worked so hard through commentary and freelancing all those years so I could get to a position like this. So I feel like not only is it great that I get to pursue this, but then it's great that I get to see all these other women killing it.
Yeah.
I would make sure I'm being PG right now. They are killing it out there right now. And it's awesome.
Great.
And it's great to watch. And it's great to feel like, even if most of the women commentating now have never heard of me, I like to believe that I at least helped a little bit in getting
Totally.
everyone to this position. And, I'm not trying to take credit at all, but it just feels good to know that even though I wasn't trying to, I did. And more women are commentating and more women are a part of these events. And I feel like we've created a new normal, all of us together.
Word.
So
I
that's
agree.
like the big important part.
Yeah, because I've always said, people don't believe it until they see it. Like everybody said, oh, we'll never have a black man for president until we had a black man for president, So I think people need to see that. So seeing your face there, I think meant a lot. And it sounds like now your fans are kind of echoing that. So that's cool. And so now talk about what you do. What do you do exactly at GameStop? And you said you're really focusing on that.
GameSpot.
GameSpot. What did I say? Stop?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I
okay.
gaming
It's all good.
so that's why you have to educate.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's like an easy mix up for most people because they are so similar. But as GameSpot, we make a lot of content. We cover games far and wide. We cover new releases. We put out awesome features. We help you think differently about the games that you're playing, or we help you get better at the games you're playing because we make guides and all of that. And
Cool.
it's just overall a fun time, and it's being completely immersed in everything that I love. And the fact that is, I can say this is my career is really awesome, but so surreal still. I still can't believe it to this day. And it's been over a year, and every single day I feel like I need to work harder and harder to not only secure my place here, but to, really work hard for what I've worked for. Because a lot of people are always talking about working hard to get somewhere and working hard to do something, but you still need to work hard once you've gotten there and once you've done it. Because, why put in all the work if you're not going to work twice as hard for your success,
Agreed.
So it's been really exciting and I love it.
That's why you're staying on top of your game, girl. Totally. So talk to us about, especially because I have no idea, like what is going on in the gaming industry as a whole. How are they responding to I'm calling it pandemania, a pandemic, but it's like mania out there, and all of these industries are radically changing. And I know traditionally the gaming industry might not be affected, but there's been a lot of all the live events now, and now they're saying they're not going to come back until 2021, and that was a huge part. I know you've produced live events, in the gaming industry. So talk about what's happening right now.
It's really interesting, actually, because while we've grown and we've gotten to this point where we are having these massive live events, and that definitely did get affected. All of our favorite events this year pretty much canceled. Evolution, the biggest one I was talking about earlier, that one got canceled. And it's really sad because I feel like as a community, we've worked so hard to get these events to where they are, and then something out of all of our control kind of takes it away from us. However, on the flip side of that, I've noticed, gaming and live streaming and just video games in general are kind of getting more shine because more people are at home. More people need and want content to consume. They're playing NBA 2K League on ESPN because there's no basketball games happening and stuff like that. Like, it really is affecting people, and people are kind of opening their minds up to the fact, like, this is what we have. So, let's check it out. Whereas, I'm sure sports fans before would be outraged to see, you know, digital basketball up during during a time when they would see regular basketball, right?
Wow.
So I think it's maybe opening people's minds to that and their eyes to that, and, you know, kind of shining a light on the importance of online gaming as well, because I know I was telling you a little bit about me playing this game called Animal Crossing earlier, and it's a game where you can like make your own island, you live an island life, and you can even go fly to your friend's island if you want to live with them. So at a time where we're all quarantined, I'll just hop on my Switch and I'll go to my friend's island and run around with them, and it's kind of like a game that came out at the perfect time. So
Yeah.
I think that is also easing people into this like digital mindset. I don't know really how to explain it, but
Yeah.
that's how I feel. They're like, you know, getting more used to it and kind of getting like a crash course, right? It's like, oh, you're stuck at home now. So now here's everything digital that you need to learn right now to get your life moving. But
Yeah.
luckily for most of the gaming industry, I feel like a lot of people were already working from
Yeah.
home or working
Exactly.
remotely.
Mhm.
They're already very tech savvy because of those things.
Mhm.
So I think that also solidified the importance of people taking tech and, you know, maybe not necessarily games specifically, but taking tech and stuff like that and live streaming and all of these at home jobs more seriously.
Oh, totally.
And then, like, on top of that, with YouTube and live streaming, you know, everybody, they are kind of looking towards this not only for entertainment, but some people for income now because they may be out of work. I have a few friends, they were streamers and they stream as much as they can between work, but then they were out of work and then they were streaming every day and growing their followings in the process. You know, they were getting more viewers, not only because of quarantine, but because people were happy to see them streaming on a consistent basis. So this shows that not only as we consume the content, but the people producing it for us have to maintain a level of consistency that people take for granted, because now we're starting to go back to work in certain places here in San Francisco, and you know, the consistent schedule from certain people, you know, that's getting interrupted again, and that's also affecting, you know, what their fans want to see and stuff too. So it's a weird back and forth. I feel like it's definitely affecting the world in a way that people are going to start looking towards these online and streaming and gaming and video platforms and entertainment more seriously, because I think people who, you know, kind of had a taste of what it was like to dive into like a full-time streamer life or full-time content creator life. They got
Mhm.
a taste of that with the quarantine. And for some of them, I feel like they might, you know, that might be the light they needed to see to be like, wow, I should do this full time or something.
Word, word.
You
How
never
would
know. It could be like that everywhere, or you know, no one could be doing that. And I could just, you know, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
well, I mean, who
I
knows?
feel like it's become an eye opener for everyone.
And how are people making money through that, through these platforms, through streaming? Because I know in music now people are going online and they've got these like tip jars, you know, for these
Hmm.
online
Hmm.
concerts. But in the gaming industry, it's different. And you guys
Yeah.
were already doing that before. So how does that work?
Exactly. So, for example, Twitch, you can stream on Twitch and you could get partnered through Twitch or an affiliate, and people can pay a monthly subscription to your channel.
Oh, okay.
You get, you know, portions of that. They can make straight donations to you. They
Mhm.
can cheer you in like bits, which sends you like little portions of money through kind of like the Twitch currency, I guess you could call it, and just little things like that. And once you get partnered, you can run ads on your stream and then you get ad revenue as
Got
well.
it.
So there's a few different
Cool.
ways to do it, and you know, it's always a grind, and you have to start small and you have to be consistent, and that's why it's so hard,
Yeah.
because people will look at these streamers who are making bank and they've got all these subs and like thousands of followers, but they have to be consistent and work hard for that, and the second that they take a break, they're going to be the
Somebody else.
first ones at the like slaughtering house, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what it's like online. Like
Oh,
the consistency is very important.
Wild Wild West. Well, and you kind of introduced me to Twitch. I'd never heard of it before. And then once quarantine happened, all of a sudden the theater community and, you know, music and all these
Yes.
people are like, oh, there's this thing called Twitch that you can use. And I was like, was Twitch originally designed for gaming?
Yes, it
That's
was,
what I thought.
but it's
Yeah.
evolved. People have been starting
Right.
to do yoga classes, and
Oh,
people are
cool.
doing, you know, live music where they play
Yeah.
their music, cooking. They're doing
Yeah.
just chatting. They do this thing called a mukbang or a mukbang where they just put big plate of food and they just eat in front of the camera. Yeah.
That's crazy. People get money for that? Wow.
It's great. It's great. Like there's something for everyone on Twitch now. And I think
Nice.
that's why Twitch is like kind of turning into a lifestyle type of thing. And maybe like a lot of these online avenues are turning into a lifestyle. I don't know if you've seen Ready Player One, but I'm like every day we're getting closer and closer to Ready Player One. And in that movie, they have like a virtual reality world. But once you go into it, it's like 100% like all, virtual. It feels real, like real life, basically.
Yeah.
You
I
can
know.
create yourself however you want as an avatar, and you're walking around and you're like that person. I'm like, every day we're closer to that. I know it.
Right. Well, enter simulation theory, right? Like
Oh,
we live in a
yeah.
matrix, and it's like you guys are creating the matrix. That's awesome.
Exactly.
So and
Because
now,
VR has been crazy too.
what do you think about the live events? Because I feel like in the gaming industry, the live events were just starting to become huge. They were really before the pandemic hit, and these events were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know you produced one, this new venue in Vegas, Las Vegas, that was built specifically for these things, because a lot of people in the business community were convinced that this was going to be the next big thing, live gaming events. So what do you think is going to happen with that now? It's hard to say.
So, it's kind of crazy, and I'm speaking from a one section of the wider gaming whole right now, right? Which is the fighting game community.
Okay.
And, these events are ran and produced by people like you and me. They're not produced by big corporations, right? So seeing these events affected has been heartbreaking, because these are, people I know and love and are friends with, their livelihoods at stake, their whole everything that they pour into these events every year, it's all at stake. And, they have to go through so much to try to recoup these costs this year, just in hopes to survive to next year, right?
Yeah.
So there's that side of things, because one thing to remember is that a lot of gaming is grassroots, and we're up and coming, and we're like people within the community making something happening for everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Then you have like some of these other portions of esports or gaming in general that are really, really big, and they can, survive, financial blows like this, right? So for example, E3, right? E3 is massive. E3, that is everything tech and like gaming, and every year it's like a week-long thing, and it's amazing. I've loved every year I've ever went.
Yeah.
This year they can't do it, right? Because of everything going on. So they're moving to like an online version where people will still be able to present the games, because that's the big thing about E3. They present what they're bringing to the gaming world that year,
Yeah.
So now they're trying to move to online ways, and, a lot of other places are incorporating online, entertainment and online press conferences and online events to kind of cope with it. And it's interesting and good, because I know we'll be able to pull it off. We're all very tech savvy people, and it's going to go off without a hitch. But I'm more curious to see how it's going to affect things after it's all over.
Right.
Are they going to decide, hey, you know what, this is way easier? Or, hey, you know what, this is way harder. We're never going to do that again. You never know how it's going to affect things after this. That's what I'm really curious about. But I have noticed a lot of these big events going to online, or, people making their own online conferences instead, separate of E3 and stuff like that, just choosing to display their things on their own terms, however they want throughout the year, instead of, through just that week. So it's interesting, because that could heavily change the dynamic of everything we were used to before, over waiting for these big conference events. Or are people going to be like, oh, you know what, we don't need that anymore, we could just do it ourselves? Or no, we don't know. It's going to be crazy.
I know. And that's what I love about this time right now, is that I think there's a lot of opportunity to pave new models, to make new inroads, and to create new avenues of supporting the artists. But what I love about the gaming industry, if you call gamers artists, which I would certainly, because I think there's an art to playing the game, which actually you should talk about. But but one of the things I love about the gaming industry is that I feel like it's the most flexible of all the industries in regards specifically to what's happening right now, to going kind of online or offline, you know, or like live events anyways, because like gaming technically, I suppose, is never really offline, which is why it's so easily, and it's the newest in many ways, I think, art forms. Because it really came of age, even though gaming has existed forever, but this whole industry of really being able, players being able to make a living off of, you know, or people like you, content creators being able to make a living off of it has really come of age in the technological age. So that you guys are really savvy. Like you said, it's people like you and I doing these events from scratch and who really started all this. And so it's really, I think, inspirational. I think we can learn a lot from the other arts industries about how you guys are approaching it, the community aspect of it. And actually, can you talk a little bit about that? Because again, I think it's a great role model for other arts industries to see how you guys are growing, evolving. Can you talk about the community aspect, if you consider like the art aspect of it, all of that? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Of just in general, or in terms of like everything going on right now?
In general, just as gaming as an industry, because also I think, you know, unless you're in, the other thing about the gaming industry is that it's very kind of insular. And so if you're not in the industry, it's so foreign. So first
Yeah,
talk about it as
I
general.
can see how that is a thing, because you know, it's because there's just so many different facets of gaming. You know what I mean? One person could be 110% head to toe in it for this one particular game, and it could
Right.
be literally like 1.2% of the entire gaming whole.
Right.
But there's going to be someone out there looking for that expert somewhere. I know it,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
always like you got to find, you know, your spot within it, and then you really have to live it. And that really only happens through true passion. So when people just try to jump into gaming without any of that, it's very blatant and obvious, and they get torn to
Mm,
shreds. That's just what happens. That's just what happens.
nice. Yeah.
I mean, it happens to everybody, right? Like, or, you know, anybody who's not really doing it
But that's
to,
what breeds the community component, I
yeah.
suppose,
Hmm.
right? Because then you
For
guys
sure.
really are so supportive of each other. You've been big about community within.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, even with EXO Academy, which is something
Oh yeah.
I founded. Yeah, so like Academy started because, you know, I couldn't really go to tournaments as much anymore, but I knew the importance and like what someone needed, I guess, to kind of ascend to their next level as someone within esports, right? So EXO Academy is a 4-week training program where I, you know, handpick a player and a coach for them. And, you know, we've been blessed with having amazing coaches like teach our program so far. You know, some of the best players in the entire world. You know, we've had the Kill Sage and Dominion and all these amazing players. Samurai was absolutely amazing because, you know, I paired him. All these names might sound foreign to you guys, but these are very important people, all
Yes,
right?
I believe you.
And Samurai, he excels at peace of mind and like keeping yourself composed and things like that. And I had partnered him up with Marine. She was already a very, very solid player, amazing. She had the fighting mentality. She just needed to get her emotions together and in check because I already knew she had it. So pairing them together was easy. You know, she needs to get her emotions and her composure in check, and he had all the things to teach her to do that. She went on to, because the coolest thing about the program, in my opinion, besides being trained by professional coaches, is that I would send the player to an event so that they could see how they do after this really intense 4-week training program. I'm talking intense. It's like probably more strenuous than a part-time job, which is why everyone who applies, like I make it very obvious that this is a very intense program because I'm going to send you somewhere at the end and you're going to live, you know, your best tournament life and like have all of this experience and knowledge. And, you know, she went to the tournament. She ended up beating one of the best Japanese players that went to the event, and it was on stream and it was live and it was
Cool.
insane. And it really showed people the importance behind getting coaching like this, no
Yeah.
matter if you're male or female. My program doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, excuse me,
Yeah.
but if like, but for my program is for women. I wish there were more programs out there that people were willing to fund for the overall community. But I want my program to be for women. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I want to help support that growth because I already know we have women in the community who are killing it right now, and they just need that little boost, because not only is it getting training from a professional player, but I also have, a physical therapy coach in there, media training, marketing and branding,
Cool.
and, I'm hoping to get someone on full time to teach, for like psychological things for the game. That's something I'm working on for the next season, which my next season did get postponed because of everything going on.
Yeah.
It was supposed to launch this past April. I might not even be able to launch it until next year, because even all of our events that we would send these players to, they're canceled. You know what I mean? And it's really unfortunate, but I don't want to take away from our players this season that opportunity because it's something that's out of their control. I think people would still want the program to go on, even though, like, I would say about half of it is online anyways. But I don't want to do that. I want my players, all of my players, to have equal, fair opportunity, and I want them to have their fair chance. I want them to be able to experience travel, because honestly, that's one of the most important things if you're going to pursue this. You have to be able to travel. There's more than just oh yeah, I'm at the tournament. No, can you mentally and physically, are you prepared to get up, make this flight, get there, make sure you're there, have fun with friends, yes, but know it in moderation, because you need a certain amount of sleep. You need to prepare. You need to also get practice in. So are you going to be able to balance all that? How are you going to feel at the end of the weekend? How's your stamina doing? If you played all day the day before, did you burn yourself out for the next day? Or did you prepare enough during the program? And all these things just start stacking up on top of each other. And this is just for a 3-day event. That's a lot of things. And I don't think that people realize how much effort and stamina and energy and just mental ability it takes to get through something that at a very high competitive level. So the program is built around giving them all the experience and help that they need to go to the event and do the best that they can. This is why the event part is so important to me, because it's easy to go to an event and play horribly because you're stressed out about your money situation, or I've gone to tournaments before hoping I win enough money there to make it home, and that's stressful, and that makes you play. These are not smart decisions, and that's why I want to help other players coming up with not having to deal with that, and putting them in a situation that gives them everything they need to succeed is the best way to do that. So that's like a big reason why I postponed the series, the new season. It's because I want these players to have the best opportunity that they have, and that comes with being able to travel. And even within the program, you're required to stream online 3 times a week, but you're also required to go offline and play offline at an offline local tournament once a week. So there's still requirements to go outside. So I'm like, I just need to postpone this, but the only silver lining is that this helps me prepare for an even better season when we get a chance to do so.
Absolutely. And keep talking about it, because I think it's amazing. It's a real 360 program, and and again, this is a problem in the arts too, is, these like record labels, if you will, take these artists and they don't give them the 360. They don't prep them for the travel. They don't prep them for the psychological component. They don't prep them for the amount of time on how to manage their schedules in a way that's holistic, that will actually. So you're really treating this from making sure that the player's health is in check, because you believe that their gaming will improve if their mental health is in check. And so I really think that's so important, and that's key to sustainability, which is #AnotherWay.
I was like, I'm waiting for it. #AnotherWay.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's coming. It's always there. You're so another way in everything you're doing. I love it. And I think it's really important to the gaming community. So we definitely will I'm going to put all these links. You send me the links for the EXO Academy. What can people apply for right now, or is just everything on hold?
I would say for now it's on hold, because I did have a lineup that was really good on its way. And so, bless their souls for being patient. I told them it's probably not going to be till next year, but we're just going to try to make it great when they come around for their programs.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, we do have a Twitter. It's at XO Academy FGC.
Okay.
And yeah, that's, basically the best place to get any information from us, but there won't be, any updates until we really get a good grasp on what's going on in the world first.
Which is fair. I also think actually just staying in line with this whole kind of holistic approach, it's honest and it's fair. So I respect that. What's the best platform to follow you on? Because I know you're on everything, right?
Yes. I am on everything, but you can follow me on Twitter mainly at Persia_XO. It's a lot of Animal Crossing right now, but
all right, I'm going to put it into these comments _XO. Okay, awesome. And thank you so much for joining me. Do you have any final words that you would like to share?
Nothing really. I felt like we kind of touched on everything.
Yeah.
And just shout outs to you because you've always been pushing this initiative and it's something I believe in. And guys, there's always another way. Just follow what you're passionate about, follow what you love. And if it's really something you believe in, it's worth putting your all into. So find your another way. I was like, wait, this is not going as smoothly as I wanted it to.
You said it. You heard it here, folks. Oh, wait, other way. You heard it here from Persia. Yeah, see, I did the same thing. Awesome. So thank you so much. And you're currently in San Francisco, but you also travel in general. So you can be seen anywhere once things open up, right?
Right. I'm from Earth.
Yeah, right. Planet Earth. Nice. Okay, thanks, everybody. Take care. We'll talk to you later.